for PEDs. But there will always be a mental asterisk in our mind when we think about Barry Bonds. It's the same thing now with the Patriots. I'm sorry. Because it's not just Spygate, Deflategate, and Scoutgate, or whatever you want to call this. Do your job gate. It's also the first 2 Super Bowls. Remember, when they won the first Super Bowl, St. Louis said they taped our walkthrough, and they lost that by 3 points. When they won the second Super Bowl, Carolina, they were convinced that the players came back saying, it's like they're in our huddle in the first half. They had to change their whole game plan at halftime. They believe the Patriots taped them illegally, and they can't prove it, but they believe that as well. So there's always been a lot of smoke around this team as well. And look, we can debate and talk about, well, did they really get an advantage just by taping something? First of all, if there was no advantage, the league would make it wouldn't be illegal.
It would be okay for everyone.
Secondly, why are you doing it if there's no advantage? And thirdly, when you are talking about world-class athletes, all you got to do is look at track and field. The difference between gold and finishing out of the medals is like 0.2 of a second. So when any little advantage with world-class athletes, regardless of the sport, makes a huge difference, and you look at their I like the Patriots. I hate to have to say this, but this is a fact. When you look at their Super Bowls, all of them were close. The first 3 were by 3 points each. Last year was the biggest by 10. 6 points.
Atlanta's an overtime game, right. And Seattle, it comes down to the interception at the goal line.
I hate to say it because, again, I have much respect for what they've done, but there always, it seems, will be that mental asterisk, at least for the near future, while this is still fresh in our minds.
You shouldn't hate to say it, and you shouldn't say, I'm sorry. They've done this to themselves. And the answer is that, yes, of course, this is part of the legacy. Because they have made it part of their legacy. They did not have to. If Spygate, which was as big of a scandal as the NFL really has seen in 20 years, if that was the only thing they ever got pinched for, then maybe, time heals all wounds to a degree. But when you keep ripping the wound open every few years, you're reminded of it. And when, unlike baseball, so here's the thing. With the Astros scandal that we're in the midst of, some of the mitigation has been a lot of people saying, well, everyone does this to varying degrees. There's been none of that defense with New England on any of these things. People don't make the allegation our communication, quarterback to coach, goes out at the most inopportune times when we're playing in Soldier Field. They say, happens when we're at Gillette. People don't say it felt like they knew what we were doing unfairly against the Seattle Seahawks. They say it about the New England Patriots. There wasn't another team that went an absurd, and I wish I had the numbers in front of me, 40 games fumbling the ball 1 time in the midst of a deflated football scandal with the Jacksonville Jaguars. It happens with the New England Patriots. And Orlando Skandrick was on the Herd yesterday and talked about that there was beliefs the Patriots would send employees to go to hotels to see if they could find leftover playbooks and stuff. How about this? I defend them on that. I support them on that. You know what? If you can, within the rules, catch somebody slipping, right, catch them slipping. If you think Baltimore doesn't know that if you line up your left tackle here and your wide receiver here and your tight end here, someone else is eligible and you get a free touchdown, that's on you, Harbaugh. Get better. But we are all supposed to be playing by the same set of rules. And the argument that some people make is, well, they didn't need to do this. And I thought Mina Kimes made a great point yesterday. We all know a rich person that still literally clips coupons to save the $1.50. They don't have to, but they almost feel like they need to. At some point, this became part of how New England does business. It is, and when you have the same coach there for 2 decades, we talk about the infrastructure, the structural advantage they have by having the same infrastructure, by being able to pull on all these years and years of film and of experience. part of the experience might be, hey, son, now that you're my safeties coach, linger on the field as long as you can and see what you can see. And then if you get kicked off by McDermott before the Bills game, we'll deal with it. Hey, guys, and I don't know what happened with this Do Your Job documentary. I know that it's not just that there's smoke, there's a small fire. And the problem is this building got burnt down by arson 10 years ago. It got burnt down by arson 5 years ago. And now that same building's on fire again. Maybe someone left the eggs on too long. Or maybe it's the same damn thing. And so to me, of course, it's part of the legacy. And it's not the biggest part, but it is a big part. What is there any allegation surrounding the Steelers of the 70s, the Niners of the 80s? Like, is there one that I don't know about? No, this is part of the Patriot way, it would appear.
And the worst thing would be, quickly, you said they didn't need to. The worst thing for the Patriots and the league was if they really did need to. Because